Good morning, Flannel Channel. Going to talk about troubleshooting a instrument cluster problem or an electrical problem on 2005 Trailblazer. And I'll start with the full list of symptoms here and how it started, and I'll make that brief. So basically, the wife's driving to work, the car's running fine, and all of a sudden the instrument cluster changes radically. The voltage and temperature, all the gauges drop to zero. All of the metered gauges drop to zero, and all of the warning lights come on bright. Okay, they go into a bulb check mode, basically. No change in the vehicle's performance. She gets to work, shuts it off, starts it when she comes home, same condition. Okay, so there we are. And I started doing YouTube checks and found that basically there seems to be several different ways of looking at this. Some of them focus on the power control unit and its effect on things. Some concentrate on the body control module and its effect on things. Both these are computers and involve both power and control voltages, so low voltages and then full 12-volt DC voltages. And those videos are very good, and the people that do them are awesome, and I appreciate them. I spent a lot of time, dumped out a lot of schematics because that's my background. I'm an engineer, and I'll tell you, I got pretty much nowhere with it. Early on, I noticed that there was a above normal parasitic drain. Okay, and so this is where we're going to depart. I would suggest that if you're fighting with a Trailblazer at any level with electrical problems, by all means, get yourself a clamp-on current meter. Find out what your at-rest current draw is. So with all the systems off, key out, system's been sitting there for an hour, battery's fully charged when you started, and now clamp over that black wire going from the battery to the main fuse box in front and see what your parasitic drain is. Then move it and clamp it over, or the total current draw, basically. And then clamp it over the red wire, which is the wire that goes to the rear fuse box, and see what it is there. What you want to know is basically what is the total drain of the system. And if it's above a 0.02 or 0.01, so 10 or 20 milliamps, it's too high. And before you go beating yourself to death trying to troubleshoot these other systems which are affected by that, do yourself a favor and find out where that parasitic drain is going and fix that, and then maybe you don't have any more work to do. So I'll cut to the chase. I went ahead and located that the main parasitic drain was coming out of the front fuse box. I saw that there were wiring bundles coming out of that. Okay, so distributing that parasitic drain, that current's flowing somewhere, through 3 different bundles is that I could see. If you see a different configuration, just understand you need to check them all and find out which of the legs the current is flowing through. Makes some sense. And I don't know why I spent weeks working on it and didn't figure this out, but so I traced it, and I'll cut to the chase. I found that it was a bundle of wires that carried the full parasitic drain that went down the firewall, the inner fender well, and went under the car and distributed services along the length of the vehicle. Now, right there, I should have already known that if you're going to get corrosion, and that's almost certainly what it's going to be, right? There's posts that talk just about corrosion and printed circuit boards that can get mold on them and cross-link tracks and stuff, and that's just, boy, that's way out there, okay? The outside of the car is where all the corrosion is going to really occur because that's where the elements get to it. So I followed this wiring bundle towards the back of the vehicle on the underside of the car in every chance that I could get to the wire, because it's dropping wires off as it goes, right? And every one of the places I could meter it with the clamp over meter, I was carrying the same high level of current until I get to the very back of the car and I find that there is a towing package on the vehicle that I'd forgotten about. And of course, there's a trailer connection package on there with connections between direct 12 volts and then your lighting system. And that plug was completely corroded. All right, you can see the green and the kind of whitish colors. That's just pure corrosion there, okay? So this thing was just leaking voltage. I went ahead and ohmed it all out after I cut it out of the circuit, but it was a myriad of problems, let me tell you. And so what made it almost impossible to troubleshoot was it was basically routing battery voltage at all times to the grounds in the lights in a sort of a twisted sort of way. And it would have been pretty much impossible, I think, for me at my intellectual level and tool set to be able to troubleshoot that. So see if you've got current draw. If you've got a trailing package, do yourself a favor, just clamp at the bloody thing. And if you've got a high current draw with everything shut down there, cut this out, replace it, or whatever you want to do, but just cut it out one wire at a time, tape it off if you're not using it, because it doesn't have to be in the circuit. It's not. And if it's causing problems, all of a sudden you put the key in, connect the battery back up, bingo, everything comes back on. Nothing was damaged. All right. So I'm going to take back some of the things I swore about the Chevy. It's actually a better made product. The computer survived. That was a huge parasitic draw, and it had been in the vehicle for a long time and had been causing a lot of problems that were just intermittent and that I couldn't seem to track down. So anyway, I hope this will save you some trouble. Trailering package, go check parasitic draw. If you've got too much, it's probably there. It's outside. It's an obvious cause. So good luck.